Hi, I'm Margie and welcome back to my kitchen. What I've made today are in this bag and they're frozen, and they are these here. These are hamburgers, and I'm going to show you how I make hamburgers that are all the same size and all the same weight and all the same thickness, so you can be all prepared for a cookout, or actually you'll have hamburgers in the freezer ready for you anytime you want to have 1 or 2 hamburgers. So let's get started right away. I have about 2.5 pounds of hamburger, so you want to have enough cookie sheets to use all your hamburger. So I'm going to line my cookie sheets with parchment paper. And I have 3 more pieces of parchment paper here to put on top. The way I measure my hamburger, so they're all the same size, is I fill a 1/2 cup measuring cup. I level it off. I don't press too hard. And then I just take a knife and I just kind of scoop it out and I put it right down where I want it. I'm going to put 6 on each one, on each cookie sheet. I don't really season my hamburger. I wait until I'm going to cook them because people like different seasonings on them, or lack of seasoning on them. Okay, so I have 6 made. My next step is just to make them into balls. And then I take a piece of parchment paper and lay it over the top. And I take a rolling pin. Now most people have rolling pins like this, and this works fine, but I like to use this one. So then you just tap it and you start to roll. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop at this point, because this is what I do, and then later I cut them. I cut the paper, but I'm going to show you with a piece of saran wrap so you can see how fat I make them. And you actually can use saran wrap if you want instead of parchment paper. So you can make these, you know, kind of as fat as you want, but with the rolling pin it's just going to make them all the same. The hamburgers shrink quite a bit, so I like to actually make them kind of on the large side. The nice thing about the rolling pin is it covers all 3 at the same time. So they're all going to be the same size. So there you go. Now you just put this in the freezer. And when they're frozen, I take a scissor and I cut in between and I put them in a freezer bag, but I'll show you that. Here are the hamburgers, all frozen and ready to go into a zippy bag. I weighed one of the hamburgers, and it weighed 1/4 pound. So a 1/2 cup of hamburger is 1/4 pound. So what I'm going to do, and you can actually just throw them in the bag without doing anything. You don't have to really, if you're going to eat them right away or whatever, you don't have to worry about having paper in between them. But I like to do that. I like to lay them on top of one another, just like that, with some saran wrap, or the parchment paper, or freezer paper, anything you have. Freezer bag, and you're all set to pull out a hamburger whenever you feel like having a hamburger. Or you can make hamburgers. One year I had a party and I made 3 or 4 different kinds of hamburgers with the spices already in them, and I made bags of hamburgers up like this, and you put them in a cooler with a bag of ice, and then you can bring them straight out to your grill.